Today I'm going to show you how to work with your lifting tool. I like to call it a pouncing tool because I pounce with it. So I wanted to show you, I have a dirty felt, but you get them in the store. I don't throw the dirty ones away. I reactivate them and use them until they turn black. And you know what? I even use the blacks because they make nice gray backgrounds. I'm spritzing it with alcohol and I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to tap on. I'm going to do a bird today. So this is going to be a nice background. See how nice that is? And you think that that's what you got, but it isn't. It's going to move. It's going to blend. And because it's so juicy, it'll blend out really nicely and soft. So we'll give that a second to do that. It's magic. So basically, I'm just showing you how to pounce a bit today. So I got a little clean one. I'm just going to spritz it just a little bit with alcohol, not a lot, because now I don't want it to be so smooth. This time I want texture to bottle, because it's a very cool dark green. I want a little more coverage. And then again, I'm pouncing up here, I'm twisting it so it works into my pad. And and it has this nice feeling of little leaves. And it's mixing with the tan color that I had up there first, which was like a sepia and some teak wood in there. Because I always use the same similar colors, but this time I'm going to come back with meadow now, because this is a little cool. You see how blue that is? Meadow's a lot warmer. So I'm going to put a little meadow in there. And I'm going to pounce again. Because there's less alcohol, I'm getting more texture, and it gives that feeling of leaves. Now my bird's a little cardinal, so I'm just going to leave it rough. I also like to do other things with the pouncer, but that's another quick lesson. Okay, I'm just going to go just to give us a little beautiful picture and show you how to draw. My cardinal, he's a little chunky guy, so I'm just going to put him in. And that's how I sketch. I sketch by how the shape looks. And then he's got that little cone on there. And he's got his little beak right there. Okay? You can do that. It's like a pear shape, right? His little shoulder comes out here. I'm using very little alcohol, just kind of scrubbing it in, deciding where things are. His little tail comes out here. And I want him to be soft. So I'm going to go into a little more alcohol and just soften him down. And his tail comes a little bit of ways. And it kind of widens out a little bit. So we'll give him a little wider look. Okay, so now I'm going to go into a little black. Make his little mask, which is nothing but a V. You can do that. Just make a V. And you can reinforce it all you want. His little wings have a little grayness to them. And his wing starts right about here underneath his mask. And his mask comes down a little bit. And we'll bring his wing up. And it comes back down. And I look at the shape and it's a rectangle. So I'm going to put the rectangle in. And then it rounds out. So that's how I draw. I look for shapes and I look for, value. So I'm going to mix that around. Okay, that looks pretty nice. And he's got a little darkness here, and I'm just going to use a dirty grayness on the brush because he has a bit of grayness on him. And I'm going to bring that dirty brush, dry brush it right in here. Okay, so that looks pretty nice. Little branch to sit on. So I'm just going to kind of go give him a little feeling of a branch. And maybe the branch comes in front of him, which would be kind of interesting. And then he's standing on it. And we'll make his little foots. It's cute. We can put some leaves on here and anything else. A little red up in here. Give him juicy and pretty. And put a little red in here. Because these are the darker areas and I want to give them a little more flavor. So I'm using the poppy field. He's not really this red, but it's my license. I have my license. I can do anything I want. Orange, some of that sunset orange, tapping out on my brush. and work on his little beak. And then I'm going to give him a little bit of a light here. I'm going to have the light come this way on him and give him a little light right in here. And I'm wiping out my brush, tapping into alcohol, cleaning my brush a little bit, and then using that dirty brush and let it mix into these colors. See how pretty that looks already? You can do that. If you can scribble, you can do this. Okay, I got a little more orange, sunset orange, and I'm just gonna kind of dance it on his head there. Make his face a little bit more important. So now you're going boom, right to his face. That's what I want you to do. And as he comes down, I want it to mix a little bit and not be as much chroma in it, because I want you to look here, not so much over here. So a little more there, but a little less as it comes out. And this is going to be a sketchy little bird. I'm not doing a bird portrait as a study with a damp brush, basically, and just soften in here a little bit. I like to go in the direction of the wings. This way you get a lot of information with very little work. And I'm going to go a little bit, go into my poppy field a little bit more and just let it mix with some of this duller color. You're still going where I want you to look, because this poppy field is mixing with the color that's there, and it's duller, not as much chroma. Okay, that looks good to me. I'm going to go into a finer brush, black, but I'm making it really thick. And I want to really bring out the mask. And it doesn't have to be perfectly like the bird you're looking at as a model. It just has to be in the zone, because every bird looks a little different. So don't worry about it if it's like, oh, it went out too far. Nobody's going to even notice a difference. Okay, that looks pretty nice. I want it a little darker here, so I'm going to throw a little dark. I'm going to a little darker here. Look how nice that looks already. I want it a little darker here so you know that the wing goes back. And I'm going to kind of darken inside of that stick. Put this in front. One more hit of orange where I want. A little bit more there. I'm going to count. 1. I'm allowing myself another one. Where would it be? There. Where would the next one be? A little reflected light back here, but where are you still looking? Right where I want you to look. I might soften that line a little bit. And a little bit more there. Less and less is on my brush, so it'll mix with the black. It's very little bit. It's a dry brush again. And I soften it down. So basically, we're done with this picture. I would probably, and most likely will, is go in with my greens and start laying in some leaves. But do you see how the background little dotlets that we put in look just like leaves? And everybody's going to think they're leaves. But I keep changing. The big trick on leaves is change your color. Let them be juicy and do whatever they do, because you just never know what they're going to become. But if you scribble them in, and even if you want, just add a little alcohol on them and see what they turn into and follow what the ink gives you. It really will give you some magical things. So anyway, that's how I do it. Pretty easy, huh? And you all thought it was so hard. So I'm going to blot right in here. There. Just to break it up. If it's too much the same, it looks kind of like cartoon. So I have to break things up. I'll add a little color. Look at that. That was boring. Now it's interesting, right? And here's my leaf. And I don't even know what these leaves are and how they're looking, but it looks like there's one there. There's one coming out this way. There might be another one this way. You can play with this all day long. And I'm going to go into the sunset orange, and I'm just going to kind of pull a little bit out. I think that looks nicer, and bring that down a little bit. He's a tough old guy. And just bring that dirty brush out and scribble and let it mix and be wonderful. Now, if I wanted to soften, you know how I am big on my edges. I'll blot. come back and scribble and soften it out a little bit up here. Because this isn't the important area, it is up here. So I might put a little straight line here to bring you up. I like this little bit of a line, kind of brings me up. Soften that, maybe soften this a little bit, bring a couple of the feathers out. You can just keep playing with this, right? You understand that. Okay, so this is a cute little picture, and I hope it gives you an idea on how to do some pouncing and how to play with inks and goof around. One more thing, for his eye, just put a little highlight in. There you go. He's a winner. He's beautiful. So you could, like I say, you can keep playing with this, but I think you get the point. Well, happy painting, everybody. To the next little video, give you some more ideas.